is episode 2 of our PodCATS Summer Signing Series. It's a sit down with the man himself, Nick Stuckless, who had a bushel of points in his bushel test last year with the Bobcats after coming over from the Binghamton Black Bears. I think most notably the eventual game-winning goal against his former team, but a host of other memories, and he's back in the fold for year 2. First of all, Nick, how are you, and how's your summer going?
I'm good. I'm actually kind of down this way right now. I'm in Johnson City visiting the girlfriend, so having a good time so far. And yeah, summer's been good. No complaints.
Not too far down the road, down there in JC, ETSU territory, but glad you're still hanging around close by before you head back to your native of Orangeville, Ontario. But have to start off with asking you what last year was like coming over from Binghamton and what the transition was like. I mean, you didn't really skip a beat. You came over, you went with us on that first trip to Danville and immediately made an impact, and there wasn't a night off from there.
Yeah, no, I mean, like the transition was super easy. Like obviously, I was in Binghamton for the beginning of the season. I mean, it wasn't too many games, six or so games or something like that. But yeah, coming over, the transition was super easy. Like the guys, everyone was super welcoming. We had kind of like an older presence. Ryback was still here at that time, and kind of like it was a good leadership group, and kind of set the tone for me, carrying out through the rest of the season. So yeah, it was super welcoming, and the transition was just it was seamless almost.
Yeah, as we said, and then you're right. There was a lot of veteran leadership there at the time, and there continued to be throughout the season. But what were the talks like? What was the situation like coming over from Binghamton, and what were the talks like? With Zemi initially, and then what was kind of the reaction when you were able to go out there that weekend in Danville and really cement your spot in the lineup?
Yeah, well, I mean, as soon as I kind of got released from Binghamton, Zemi was the first guy, ringing up my phone. He was relentless. He called me every single day until they claimed me eventually. But yeah, I was super grateful. Like you could tell from the get go, right? Zemi really cared, and he wanted me. He wanted me here. He wanted me with the Bobcats, which I mean, I was super appreciative of. So, going to a team where a coach really works hard to get you, and he really wants you there. It means something, and it kind of makes that, like you said, that transition a lot easier. But yeah, in terms of the talk, I was super excited to get down here once everything was official. Just after those few days of talking with Zemi, I was yeah, couldn't wait to get down here.
And once you got down here, as we said, you made a pretty immediate impact. You met somebody close by, and I think for you, it's and a lot of guys have said this. It can be hard moving teams, especially mid-season. But I think organizationally, to pat ourselves on the back, we try and make that transition as easy as possible.
100%. Like you said, like just the way the organization welcomed us, and not even just the organization, like the third parties, like the town, the fans, the community. Like it's such a place that embraces you, and that makes you want to kind of be here. And I think that's why you gotta get guys who show up and they don't want to leave, kind of like myself and Danny Martin, I guess. But yeah, like it's just a place where we've kind of built something, and we're continuing to build something. And you want to be a part of that, right? You want to be on the ground floor, and I think being behind Zemi for that is he's a good leader. He's a good guy to take us there. So yeah, super excited.
Yeah, that's it. The other thing I wanted to touch on was the leadership that Zemi provides, and that guys like Danny provide. For you as one of the younger players on this roster, what was it like to go throughout the year and to get that not only get that playoff experience, albeit the run, to get that experience and be underneath guys that had been there and done that?
I think it was super impactful, like especially like for a personal level, right? Like personal growth. Being able to share those games and going into those games with guys who've been there before, and guys who are able to kind of look at it from a different perspective that maybe I can't see, and other first year guys obviously can't see. It's super crucial and important to have guys like that, like having guys like Mercurio at the end of the year come in for playoffs and just really take charge. It kind of sets the tone, and it kind of helps everyone else really just perform to their full potential, which you need everyone pulling on the rope to win playoff games. So yeah, you definitely learned a lot this year, especially with the group we had, and growing too as a team. Right, like we didn't start off too hot, but kind of throughout the year just made baby steps and slowly got better, and it really showed. So yeah, I'm just super grateful to be a part of that this year.
Yeah, you said it right there, and as the year went on, there was a whole lot of growth. I think from every one of you guys individually to round into form, and like Danny said in the previous episode, to be a team at the end of the season that nobody wanted to play against. And I think the real statement of that was the Binghamton series. The first game was a bit of a wash, but you came back in that second game, and you'd shown it before. You'd beaten Athens, you'd beaten Carolina, and then you go out there and you beat the defending champs and then the eventual back-to-back champs. But you make a statement to the rest of the league in the process that even with the result you had on Sunday, the entire weekend, that as a younger franchise, as Danny said, you became very hard to play against, and made Hitachi Energy Arena, in accordance with the support of the fan base, a place that visiting teams do not enjoy coming to.
Yeah, and the home team loved playing there. I'll put that on the record. We love playing at Hitachi all year. Like you said, the fan base is just insane, and yeah, super grateful to be able to play there. Right, like a lot of some arenas you go to in the league aren't the nicest, and we're super lucky to have our facilities and the people taking care of them. Right, so yeah, super grateful for Hitachi.
Yeah, you said it, that the fan support was great all season long, and I think we'll really continue here into this second year, when you look at the attendance numbers overall and the boost from year one to year two. For you, going into your second year of professional hockey, how important is it for you to come back to a team and an organization and an environment that's comfortable, that's familiar, and I'm sure will provide a bit of stability and help you pole vault into a greater stratosphere statistically this year?
Yeah, well, that's what it is too, right? Like being in a familiar environment, knowing my surroundings, knowing what's available to me. But two, like most importantly, I think in my opinion, is like playing for a guy like Zemi. I mean, I only played for him for 1 year so far, obviously, but he's a guy who knows my tendencies. He knows what I'm good at. He knows what I'm bad at. So like going back into this year, it's a lot easier to make steps and make growth, because I kind of have that foundation from last season, obviously. So it helps a lot going back to the same team, obviously for year two, and obviously I know the second year isn't always the easiest. Um, but I believe like being in Blue Ridge is the way that I'll be able to succeed this year. So yeah, I'm super grateful to be back in Blue Ridge. Kind of stumbled over that one.
Is the sophomore slump tendency, so to speak, that can kind of occur. But
Yeah.
for you, what are you kind of going through mentally, training wise this summer, physically and mentally, to make sure that you're at your top of your game come October 1?
Yeah, and no, from basically like a physical standpoint, I mean, there's always things you got to work on with your game, like anyone. But for some personal things for me is obviously like I think my skating. Everyone's skating can always improve, but I kind of want to add a little hop in my step this season. So I think working on skating is a big part of my summer training. And obviously just putting the puck in the net. Like I felt like I did it at a decent rate last season. But I think I can do it at a higher rate, obviously. But it's figuring out ways to put yourself in the best position to put that puck in the net. Not necessarily just shooting the puck all the time will give you that result, but it's kind of studying the game, right, and knowing where to be on the ice, and sometimes it's always not going to be the cleanest goal. It's gonna go off your skate or something like that. So I think working on finishing this summer is going to be a big part of my game because next season I want to step in and be able to contribute and obviously help our team win games. Yeah, so yeah, obviously like point production, and I think skating is obviously always a big aspect of the summer training.
This is something touched on quite a bit, whether it's on coaches' shows or Danny and I talking last episode. But Zemi's huge on net front presence, and you talked about being in the right place at the right time on the ice. I mean, you did it right away. Your second goal with the team that Saturday game in Danville was, or I believe the first goal of the game. That Saturday game in
Yeah,
Danville was that net front tip, and all throughout the season, it seemed like it might have been one to start, but once everyone started buying into that mentality, it just fed off of each other and it became contagious.
yeah. That's how you're going to score goals at a high level, right? Like if I'm sure everyone's watching the NHL playoffs right now. There's been so many goals. The majority of goals going off two sticks, a couple skates. Like it's always not gonna be the prettiest all the time. It's finding a way to get that puck to the net and being in the right spot. Which, like you said, we did a great job towards the end of the season, and that's something we should definitely build on towards next year.
And going into a season now where, as a team, you feel like you have a good mix as there was last year of the veterans and the young guys and the core that's being built with you and Danny coming back. What have the conversations been, both, internal with you and Danny and Zemi about, the expectations for what I think we all expect to be a big year?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's been excitement, a lot of excitement. Obviously, like I think a lot of the conversation has been around investing in us, investing in players, and investing in the team. Like if the organization shows that they're willing to invest in us and treat us well, then we have to kind of do the same things, and that's recruiting guys who want to treat their bodies right and be pros right at the end of the day. So a lot of the conversations around just excitement and obviously having the right culture and the right mentality in our room, building on what we did last year, kind of that hard work, that nonstop that nonstop work ethic we had towards the end of the season. It's building on that for next season, and it starts with the culture in the room and yeah, being a pro. It always comes down to being a pro.
That's something that Danny's talked about. I've heard Carson touch a lot of times, and for the roster as a whole, you talk about the culture in the room. I think I get this sense that everybody's feeling in that locker room in Winston Salem after Game 2 was, man, we got a little bit of unfinished business here. Like I feel
Yeah,
like the vast majority of guys in that room felt like more could have been done. And,
yeah,
we, like I said last episode, that Carolina team has said to Danny, I still talk to a few of those guys that, they didn't want to play Blue Ridge. And, the goal this year, I think, is to get to the point where Well, it's not just one or two teams that don't want to play us. Nobody wants to play us.
Yeah. 100%, yeah. And it's like I said, it's getting to that point that we were at last year. Like you said, going into Carolina, like the
And
team
as
identity.
we kind of move forward,
Sorry, cut out.
go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, like that what we built on
Can you hear
towards
me
the end of
now?
the season, going into Carolina. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
So yeah, so going into Carolina, like that team identity that we had, that team toughness, that nonstop kind of grit work ethic, they didn't want to play us, and that's how it's got to be from the start of game one next season against whoever it is we're playing, and against every team we play from that night out. It's got to be that kind of mentality where teams don't want to play us, right? Teams don't want to come to Hitachi, and if we're going there, they don't want us coming there. Um, we just need to get that going, kind of right off the jump, pick up where we left off.
Right, and that goes for every opponent, I think, and it's going to be a little bit of a different schedule this year, being in a different division. But I don't think that really changes for you guys, at least as a team, the mindset of the mentality as a whole, because it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who the opponent is or where the game is. You know, I think that the points race at the end of the season can teach us a lot about how important each shift in each game is, and how important it is not to necessarily focus on who the opponent is, but just go out there and play your brand of hockey and let the rest take care of itself.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And as we said, it's going to be a little bit of a different schedule this year, being in a different division. What are you most looking forward to this year as far as the schedule is concerned?
As far as, I mean, as the schedule's concerned, I don't think it really changes anything that I'm looking forward to. I think it's every day going to the rink and seeing these guys, right? Like that core, the family we built kind of here, like the culture. It's going to the rink and working, right? Working with your brothers, and I think it's just all the little journeys and the little steps we make throughout the season. I think that's what I'm most excited for, right? Like it's growing as a group, and when you do that, it's fun. When you win games, it's fun. So yeah, I mean, in terms of the schedule, I'm not really looking forward to anything in particular, but just grinding it out every single day with these guys and seeing how far we can go.
And that really echoes, I think, something that Danny said last time that was really interesting. Was I'd rather I don't want to win and play boring hockey. I don't want to
Yeah,
lose and play boring hockey. I want to play. I want to have fun playing with guys, and I want to win, and I want the fans to have fun. And from that, I think everyone shares that mentality.
yeah, it's super exciting. Like I said, we're building something cool in Blue Ridge. I'm super grateful to be a part of it.
We'll kind of wrap it here. Absolutely. We'll kind of wrap it here, because I know you've got an afternoon of fun there in the Smoky Mountains to get back to. But
Yeah, lots of sun.
just talk about, kind of put a bow on, how excited you are to come back and be a part of what's been built and what's continuing to grow.
Yeah, I just can't say enough good things. Like it's why it was such an easy decision to come back here, and just talking with Zemi and some of the guys, and seeing some of the changes that are happening, and seeing the kind of the changes around the rink and stuff. Like you can see the buzz, you can see kind of the build up around the town, and everyone kind of getting excited, and it just kind of it gives you butterflies waiting for that game one, and I know Hitachi is going to be packed during game one, and yeah, I just can't wait. Like there's no better feeling than playing hockey, and doing it for a living is a blessing. So I'm super grateful, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the season and looking forward to being a Bobcat next season.
I think we're all excited for the season to get started. And more than that, I think we're all excited to have you back in the blue, black, and gold. Nick Stuckless, thanks so much for sitting down with us, and we'll see you in October.
No problem. Thanks, Brett. We'll see ya. Nice. Do I just exit? Oh, leave studio. Okay. All right. Thanks, Brett.